This is Double V for I Cree You Pre TV. Of course, iAS Live Music Review. I have Mr. Keri D. Singleton in the seat. Somebody say something! Okay.
So shout out to Mike Tillman, who many people.
And that's the main character?
Yeah, many people know him as Rio in the adult film industry, but
I didn't even recognize him.
Well,
Just saying that.
Neither did I, but you know. Wow.
Woo. I didn't recognize him.
Here.
All right, Mr. Keri D. Singleton in the seat. I was doing some research, and a book or a movie by the name of City of the Night is referenced.
Yes.
And
you do your research.
I attempt to.
Point.
Okay. How much influence did that have on the project?
So this is where I guess I have to get really personal. I was incarcerated. 2004 to 2007, I was incarcerated for identity theft, right? So I did a lot of writing and I did a lot of reading. In fact, the Wanderer's Game and the books that I wrote afterwards were all written in prison. And one of the books that I read was this book called City of Night by John Ricci, right? Or Ricci, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Ricci. And City of Night is dope because it's actually similar to the Wanderer's Game. It's where I kind of got the idea to stuff. So City of Night is a story about a lead character from El Paso, Texas, who's living this mundane life with his family, not a lot of money, young guy, I take it he's a handsome guy by the details in the story. And he just travels all over the country exploring the world of male prostitution, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think he dived into it initially, he just kind of wanted to travel across the country to explore his sexuality and meet people or whatever, and he ended up he started getting paid for it, and so that's I was like, wow. And it's funny because I've done a lot of traveling in my earlier years. When I first moved to New York City, I did a lot of traveling, and a lot of the places that are referenced in the book I've seen. Griffith Park in Los Angeles, Perkins Square in New York City, I was just like, wow. And it was crazy because I think one of the most fascinating things to me was the book was written in the 1960s, and yet the places that he referenced were almost the same as when I visited them in the late 90s and early 2000s. So I was fascinated about the story, and then it made me think, like, I know people like this. I know these places and things, and I decided I want to write some. I was inspired, so I wrote the Wanderer's Game poem, and then
then you said you were also influenced by your roommates who had, of course, different lives, lifestyles, and different journeys. Yeah. So now when we talk about the Wanderer's Game, this is what you've seen.
Correct.
This is what you...
Through other people's eyes.
Of course, through other people's eyes. He's like, yo, if I tell you one more time it's through other people's eyes, it's not me. I don't think it's you.
No.
I didn't say it was you.
Let me just say this. We're sharing, right?
We're sharing. Sharing is caring.
When the Wanderer's Game was about to be released, first of all, I had two books that I was considering making my first book, right? And so the Wanderer's Game I thought was a great story, but I also had to think about who my audience was going to be, right? So, statistically speaking, black females read more than black males, okay? And because I'm a black male, journalism statistics. Statistically speaking, because I'm a black male, I knew that my audience would predominantly be other black people, right? So I said, okay, if my audience is going to be sisters, do I really want to release a book about down low guys, which is what one could perceive Reggie as being? Sisters don't really like that too much, you know what I mean? So I asked a couple of my female best friends that love to read 3 different manuscripts, and they said the Wanderer's Game is the strongest one. You should go with that first. So that's what I decided to do, releasing the book. But I'm going to say this. When it was time to get on the road and promote that book, first of all, it was my first book, and then the subject matter was really risque, right? I was so uncomfortable in the beginning stages of promoting the book, because people would say to me at book signings, "Hey, what's the book about?" And I'd say to them, if you look on the back of the book, it has the whole
description,
synopsis. And they're like, we were asking you a question. One sister actually said to me, brother, if you want me to buy this book, I need you to articulate to me what this book is about.
Okay.
And I did, and I was just cringing the whole time.
So what did you say?
I told her it's a fictitious story about a character from Jersey who's an aspiring actor and uses male escort journeys to fatten his pockets, basically.
And she said?
She bought the book. I escape from hell, my need to live to tell. Every storm begins with a calm, it goes out with a calming wind.
I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I'll say
nothing like
I'll say this too. So the Wanderers game became a book. First it was a poem, then it became a book, then it became a Broadway play. The play, I gotta say though, was a dope experience because I didn't have anything to do with the play.
Okay.
Again, a buddy of mine, Alve Alexander, is a playwright. She asked me for permission to do a theatrical version of the play. I think I was invited to the rehearsal, the first rehearsal and the last rehearsal, none in between.
So you had nothing to do with the writing and how it was put together?
Not at all. She rewrote the script.
Okay.
And because I gave her, I mean, she's an artist, I want to give her creative freedom. But what she did do, which she didn't have to do, which was pretty dope, I thought, was that she almost stuck entirely to the book. A lot of authors,
right? The movie is never.
Yeah, the movie and the play.
The play is never like the book, and the book is always better.
Right.
Yeah.
So she stuck to the script almost to the letter, and so to go see it, not knowing what to expect, because I was banned from rehearsals, and the reason being, she said that she didn't want my presence to influence the rehearsal of the actors. Right. I was floored, and it was crazy. Like, my mom had obviously read the book before it even became a book, and she actually cried in the theater. And I'm like, Mom, what are you crying about? You already knew where the story was going. But she said, like, the actors, it's different to see it on stage.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah, it's like when you read, like you said, the back of the book, the synopsis, the blurb, and you're like, okay, it seems intriguing, but when you get into the pages, it's like, oh my God, and you don't want to put it down. You don't want to end the book because you don't want it to end.
Well,
you're like,
I hope that's what the readers feel. But yeah, like to see it on stage, it's on YouTube, so you can still watch it.
Okay, where can they find it on YouTube?
So if you go to YouTube, the Wanderers Game stage play, it's in 3 parts. The whole play is there.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out because the video itself, like the spoken word visual for the poem is
even different. Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is different. Have you seen anyone else or experienced anyone else do anything similar to this? Because I personally have not.
No, and that's what inspired me to do it. I feel like the art of poetry and spoken word and all that other stuff has taken such a huge back seat to other art forms, rapping, singing, dancing, painting, whatever. And it's such a dope art form. And I wanted to kind of bring that back in some sort of new, cutting edge way. And so we did this spoken word album. It's five songs. Like, the first video was the Wanderers Game. D20 Films.
And they're located where? D20
in New York
Films.
City.
Okay.
Yeah, they're here in New York City. And Quay and Leo did a phenomenal job. I gave them the lyrics. I gave them the song.
Right.
And that was it. They came up with everything else. Again, they wrote the script, they got the actors, except for Mike, the lead actor.
So did what we see, the visuals that we see, is that what you were thinking of?
No.
Is that what you visualize as you read the poem?
Not what I visualized.
I'm talking about you personally.
No, actually, what I did was I gave them only one stipulation. I really do believe in creative control.
Okay.
You can let somebody do something, let them do it. Even my barber. I'm like, just go ahead and do it.
He said the barber.
Seriously.
Nah, wait a minute.
Let him do his job.
You gonna let the barber do what?
Just do his job.
Like, no, you don't want to take the hairline too far.
Whenever I get a new barber, shout out to Mike, my barber.
Shout out to Mike, the barber.
The first time I walked in there, he said, "What do you want?" I was like, "What do you think I should have?"
I can't. What if he would have said like an S curl?
Well, then I walked out to the barber shop. That's what I would have did.
Okay, I I'm just saying, you said let him do what he wanted to do.
I let Leo and Quay, I just told them, the only stipulation, I don't want to be in this video. Because it's not about me, and I don't want to give the impression that it is. So we have to get a lead character, and I picked Mike Tillman. Again, Mike Tillman was a former...
So where did you know Mike from?
I did audition. We did online audition.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't actually when he auditioned. You know, they sent pictures, and we had conversations, and it was actually between him and a guy from Jersey, actually. And I didn't even know that he was a former porn star. He was really articulate.
He didn't put it in his portfolio or his like reel when he.
Well, it wasn't a reel.
Online
just
audition?
Photos.
Okay.
So let's clear that up.
Yeah, let's clear that all the way up.
Wait a minute.
I love her.
I'm just like, he done sent photos. Like, yeah, I didn't know.
He sent a couple of photos, and they were,
what?
for the job. He was, the role was for a male escort, and so he, and I don't remember the other guys, the other actor.
Okay.
But they sent pictures, and I was like, okay. So it was, again, there were several. It was between the guy from Jersey and Mike, and I had a conversation with Mike, and I was like, wow, like, are you okay with doing this role? He said, yeah, like, I can play the role.
He said, well, I've been doing this
But
for
he
years.
didn't say that initially. Right, you know what I mean?
But his body language is like,
So
man, please, you don't know nothing about this?
He's like, I think I can play the role. And I said, well, what makes you think you can play the role?
And he was like,
well, and I was like, oh, you're hired. Like,
wait, you gotta tell him, well, what? Well, he said, well.
You're hired. He said,
he said what? What did he say?
Oh, he's told me that he had done porn. And
professionally.
Yes.